Welcome back, True Seekers. Friday night sports decoding live. Gonna make sure people are getting in the room here. See if I can get in the chat. Alrighty. All right, we already got a request. WSU versus Oregon. Special K is here to listen and learn. Special K, putting in a lot of time. Very cool. Well, I'm sure more people will be joining us very soon. We can look at the WSU Oregon game to start. Hey, Jules. Good evening, Double A. All right. This week, when I do it, I'm just going to try to be more organized than last week. We were pretty effective last week, but there's room for improvement. So we're going to get to this WSU Oregon game to start. If you're asking me things in the chat, just know that I can't see it right now. I'm going to, let's see. We want to pull up we want to look at what they got going for us for this WSU Oregon game, kind of numbers they're putting up for us. Let's see here. All righty, WSU, Oregon, where you at? That's Washington. I need Washington State. There they are. Am I alone in thinking that the Washington State Cougars have the most clever logo out of all sports teams in the United States of America? That's this one, if you're not aware. You notice how it's a W, an S, and a U for Washington State University? I've always thought it was pretty clever. All right. So we're going to want to look at the history between these two teams in light of the date numerology and then do some measurements with the coach and quarterback. So our game is tomorrow, which should be, last time I checked, October 21st. So do a little date numerology here. I like to do my date numerology by hand. All right, so we got to just make sure you do the right math. Wait a minute. No. It's September. Wait a minute. This game should be on the 20th, not the 21st, right? Okay. Yeah, make sure you got the right date. That's crucial. Got the wrong numbers. That's not going to help you out. All right, so 68 date numerology. All righty. So we got a 68, a 41. We got a 14. Looks like a 48 here. 30. And let's not forget it's the 20th. It matters that it's the 20th. And October 20th is the day that leaves 72 days left in the year. So we'll keep that in mind too. 293rd day of the year, leaving 72 days. All of these things could be very crucial in our decode, and we'll see as we take it apart. So we got 2 5-1 teams. Something else. Cougars haven't been good for a while. Notice the over-under is right at 68. That's jumping out right away. That's jumping out. The over-under is right there at the date numerology. And again, when you know the date numerology, how often you see college scores sync up with the date numerology. It happens again and again when you're aware. So let's look up Oregon Ducks, WSU Cougars head-to-head. Winsipedia. Let's see if this is up to date here. So the Cougars are at 41 wins right now. We saw how it was a 41 date numerology. Just got to make sure that this website's up to date. I'm going to check one more website. I just want to point out, if this is true, I think it's interesting that Oregon has 49 wins against Washington State University, because Washington in our most Pierce cipher is 49. Let's see if we get more specific here. My website that gives me my looking for same website we were using last week. This is different. Well, we'll just roll with this for now. This website looks like it looks legitimate. If anyone in the chat has a better website for the head-to-head between these teams, I'll check in just a moment, but I'm going to roll with this for now. This shows the win streak through last year. That was the last time they met. See if this website has that. I want to know the last time they met. Full games list page. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I like it. This looks legit. The last time they played was October 7th, 2017. So I want to check that out. Oops, don't got the right thing here. Date duration calculator. So I got to figure out how to change this setting. There's this setting on this computer that automatically adjusts the brightness back and forth. And it's like, can you just leave it? I'm cool. Let's see. October 20, 2018. 54 weeks. 54 weeks since the last game. We'll remember that. So we'll make the note of that. They last played 54 weeks ago, October 7th, 2017. And Oregon got beat soundly by Washington State University. Gotta love the 43 combined points, right? 43. Big football number. Football equals 43. Okay, so we can think about the date numerology. That game was on a date with 54 numerology, 10/7/2017. Now they're playing 54 weeks later. So there's probably a riddle with this in light of the fact that they played 54 weeks ago. You know, something's going on here with that. See if this number connects to a coach or a quarterback or a team name. There's very likely a riddle. So WSU. I'm amazed that WSU's had their number like this. See, this is what I'm used to. Oregon dominating Washington State. Okay, they won the last 3, though. Very interesting. Just for some more information, we can go back to when this win streak began, 10/10/2015. That could potentially give us something else that's interesting. 158 weeks ago. So the win streak began. Freemasonry number there. Freemasonry, 158. Okay. I also just like to think about mathematical things just before we even decode more. I just try to think about things just based on what I'm looking at. And something that I think about in light of them being on a 3-game win streak is, well, what if the Cougars are going to win tomorrow and they get 4 in a row? Remember, there's a relationship with 10 and 4. If you add 1 through 4 together, it equals 10, meaning 10 is the 4th triangular number. October's the 10th month on our calendar. So it would be a good month to get number 4 in a row. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's just a thought. We're going to see as we decode the quarterback and the coaches what else lines up here. Let's find out who the quarterbacks and coaches are. And I'll just link this. I'll link this website here. Oh, I should also document that. Okay, so they've played each other 97 times. This is going to be the 98th meeting. Okay, we would definitely want that there. 98th meeting. Oregon leads 49-41-7. And consider that Washington State can get their 42nd win, and Washington is the 42nd state. So it would be a symbolic win. They'd win 4 in a row. They'd do it in the 10th month. It would be over a span of 158 weeks. Big Freemasonry number. And I just got to check. I feel like I could be wrong about this, but yeah, I'm not right about that. I was thinking the Ducks do have the Freemasonry connection with 58, but not seeing real quick little decode. See if there's any 158 connection here. Washington State University, 147. That's interesting in light of how important that number is to the presidency and the state being named after George Washington. Yeah, well, Cougars also have the 42 thing, like Washington being the 42nd state. That's very interesting. Never caught that before today. Always learning more. That's what I love about gematria. Hey, let's pretend like we were watching ESPN right now and a commercial cut to the new Michael Myers movie coming out. I just want, again, in case you're new here and trying to catch on to this stuff, I just want you to understand how relevant this code is. So just take a moment. The new Michael Myers movie is coming out today. Notice filming began January 13th, 13/1. Kind of like how Halloween's 10/31. But look at this. Today has 67 date numerology, right? In our base cipher, Michael Myers is 67, so is Killer. Look at Michael Myers' name with the alphabetic order 131. A lot like Halloween on 10/31, plus January 13th, the day filming began. 13/1, like 131. Michael Myers also sums to 59 in this cipher, just like serial killer. Kill in Jewish gematria is 59. Reverse ordinal. I'll type it up here real quick just so you guys can see this. Serial killer, 59, 193. And don't forget 193 is the 44th prime number. Serial alone has gematria 44, just like kill. See that? How cleverly all this stuff's thought out. Perfect day to release Michael Myers. Also from the day filming began to the release of the film today. It's exactly 40 weeks. This is a 40-year anniversary of the first film. Halloween in the base ciphers is also 40. When I first began this study, what stood out to me about Halloween, because I only knew the alphabetic order and reverse alphabetic order, was that Halloween with our most pure cipher was 41, like how the date October 31st, 10 plus 31 is 41. So anyway, for all of you who are just into the sports, realize you can take this code other places. Almost everything in the world of entertainment is done this way. And that does bring us back to sports. Sports are another form of entertainment. How many people this weekend are checking out the Michael Myers movie and going to watch football all weekend? Probably millions. So anyway, football game. Some things are popping out already. Just some potential narratives, some real mathematical relationships. We got to look at the coaches and the quarterbacks here. So put this up here. All right. Washington State University football coach Mike Leach. He used to coach at Texas school. I forget which one it was. Let's check his gematria out real quick. He could have something for us. Only Mike Leach was playing today. I remember that Oregon get their 50th win. Oops. So Mike Leach, let's check out Mike Leach's birthday. March 9th, 57 years old. Alrighty, let's check that out. March 9th, 2018 to our game on 10/20/2018. 225 days. That's his 226th day of his age. What did I just see a second ago? What did I just see a second ago? The thing that I know about 226, I have some unfair advantages to mini decoders just from doing this so much. Oregon's date of establishment is February 14th, 1859, which is a date with 93 numerology. And there's this big relationship with 226 and 93. So I'm just thinking about that right away. The fact that he's playing Oregon, this number comes up a lot in Oregon's history. His birthday is also March 9th, which can be written 9/3. So that's interesting. We'll make a note here. Coaches. The game is 226. Well, normally what I do to remember spans is I'll write it like that and then put that for the span. And I got to get rid of this. Okay. And, I would love if all you guys out there doing this work would start your own blogs. It would just be awesome to have more and more people producing this gematria content in the world. More likely that it's going to come across a stranger's eyes. And for those of you who don't know, my work all began on this blog. Finally, people started following my blog. I decided it was time to go out and find a bigger audience. Then I moved on to YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So we can make a note about we can make notes about this. See if this comes up when we look at any other players, could find a bigger riddle. Because normally that's the way it is. You're decoding piece by piece, and then you start to see how more things line up with more people, other coaches, quarterbacks, and you go, okay, there's a clear pattern going this way. 93 is also a number that has to do with time and Saturn, as is 30. And a company that those numbers are important for is Nike, which is headquartered in Oregon. Nike spends all of its money on, or not all of its money, but a ton of its money on Oregon's college football program. That's why they have the most jerseys on any college team, and they have the super special training facility. All right, let's see here. We need Mike Leach's coaching record. Here we go. Mike Leach. So it looks like he's done 82 games. This is going to be his 83rd. Big game there, 83. We know about 83. That's the football number. Okay. And his record was, one more time, and this is just with Washington here that we're looking at. He's going for his 44th win or 40th loss. The last time they played, remember, it was a score of 43 points. That big football number. Okay. And we should just look at all-time, too. He could, all-time, it looks like he could pick up his 83rd loss all-time or his 128th win. So we'll make a note of that, too. More time, all-time, he is 127 and 82. Okay, so we got our primary numbers here for Mike Leach. We could consider his bowl game stats too, but it seems to me more often than not that it's best to just look at the regular season record within regular season games. If we want to be even more thorough, we could consider the bowl games. All right, so now we need the other coach, Oregon Ducks football coach, Mario Cristobal. And where's his Wikipedia? His birthday here, September 24th. So this game's 26 days after his birthday, or on his 27th day of his age. All right. All right. Now we need his record. Mario Cristobal. Let's check out his name gematria real quick, see if anything jumps there. Got that 223, that big Masonic number. I also noticed in his name, if you use the exception on S, S can be 1 or 10. If you make S 10, his name's 74, just like Oregon with the alphabetic order. Oregon's the only state of the 50 states with the simple English gematria is 74. So the other thing we want to check is his record here. Mario Cristobal, here we go. So Oregon, again, he's a relatively new coach. He's 5-2. And all-time, we can look at his all-time stats. All-time. Interesting that he coached 74 games with Florida International before going to Oregon, huh? See how that works? That's no accident. This is going to be his 82nd game all-time. He's going for his 33rd win or 50th loss. Consider that this will be his 8th game with Oregon in October, the month that used to be the 8th month of the calendar year. Okay. He could potentially pick up his 33rd win and stay at 49 losses. Oregon's the 33rd state. Washington equals 44. So I'll just put some notes down here, just things to think about. Things to think about. So we got his record. So next up is the quarterbacks. So now we need some quarterbacks. Only thing about college football, sometimes it's harder to figure out who's starting. Let me come to the chat real quick. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows who has the Washington State University starting quarterback. So Chris Cal made a note about how he can become 6-2 on the 293rd day of the year, and 293 is the 62nd prime. That is a really good observation. Let's just verify that. Remember, you can find out your number properties at Gematria. You go to Tools, Number Properties. Click in a number. It's the 293rd day of the year, which is the 62nd prime. So that is a good one. So that is a very good one. I'd still say we should look at the quarterbacks. Just the more evidence, the more information. So, did anybody there have the Washington State starting quarterback? I know that last year, the guy who did good for them, he supposedly committed suicide by the numbers. We covered that last year. Where did it go? QB for WSU is Gardner Minshew. Okay. Check it out. Gardner Minshew birthday. Let's see if we can get that. Oh, it's Minshew. Minshew. I don't see his birthday there. Let's see. Here we go. Gardner Minshew. Okay, so he transferred from another school. He's a senior. I need better stats than that. See if we can find some better stats here. Let's see here. He wears the number 16. It's good to look at the jersey numbers. Sometimes there's a clue there. Remember, 53 is the 16th prime. 53, big football number. The shape of the football, the vesica piscis, which has gematria 53. I'm not seeing his birthday, though, or the type of stats I'm after here. Let's see. Let's see. That's just for NFL. All right. Well, I don't see his birthday, so that's the thing about college. Sometimes it's harder to pull as much information as we do in the NFL. I know that the Oregon Ducks quarterback, we looked at him last week, and on TV they're hyping him up as like maybe a potential really top pick here in an upcoming NFL draft. He had that special football name gematria, and we looked at him last week. Justin Herbert. All right, March 10th, his birthday. We're going to the 20th. Game's 32 weeks after his birthday, 224 days. The divisor's at 84, some to 224. All right, let's see here. What's that dude's name? Justin, too. He's got that Justin. That's a good name for Oregon because Justin's name with that 93 gematria. Earlier, we're talking about how big 93 is in Oregon. "32 weeks as well. We can check out the name gematria. Let's bring it back down here to our base 4. Herbert, Justin, Herbert. Got that 83 big football number. I think he's the most hyped quarterback in the Pac-12. And I should have. Jules says, "How would you calculate name gematria if somebody's the second?" When I see a name with the second or the third or the fourth, I'll calculate the name without that, and I'll calculate it with, and I'll just look because I think both things are relevant: the name without the number and also the name with the number. I see it's Gardner Minshew II. That's how that came up. So Yeah, normally when I decode a name, what I do is I look at all the name in each of its separate parts, and, so let's just do that. I'm just gonna copy this name because it's the hardest one to remember. Minshew, Gardner Minshew. Oh, look at Gardner Minshew's 158, like how, that win streak. I gotta make sure I got the right spelling there. Is that right? So that is really interesting that Gardner Minshew is 158 in light of what we looked at earlier. Because earlier we noticed that the win streak is 158 weeks if they win tomorrow. It's been 158 weeks. That's interesting. Gardner Minshew, it's big Freemasonry number 2. Duck's got the 58 thing, like Freemasonry. So these are interesting notes. In light of the fact that the Cougars could pick up their 42nd win, and this is the 10th month, don't forget that 10 as the gematria of 42. So we're just thinking about things here. We got a man in the chat who's convinced that Oregon's going to take it, the 6-2 thing on the 293rd day, the 62nd prime. It is a really good thought. I wish we had Gardner Minshew's birthday. That would mean a lot here. Got to be somewhere that's got it. Who's got it? I'm going to check the chat to see if anybody has Gardner Minshew's birthday in just a moment. Minshew the second. Since it's on the back of his jersey that way, we should just look at it. Minshew the second. It's got that 53 and 134. Those are big Vesica Pisces numbers. Vesica Pisces for the football. Minshew the second. Oregon could potentially fall to 5-3. Oh. Chris thinks it's a lock that Oregon's got it because of the one thing. But I'll tell you what, I've seen things like that before and been surprised when it didn't go that way. He could be right. A lot of times the prime number relationships are huge, but I've learned to be as thorough as I possibly can, even sometimes still call it the wrong way. So let's see. If only we could find his birthday. I just feel that much better about it. All right, let me check the chat. Maybe somebody here found it. Oregon QB birthday is 10-3. What's up, JR Smooth? Minshew 37, the 12th prime. That's a good observation. I just got to check something here. You had a different birthday than I did for the Oregon quarterback. Isn't it's him, the March 10th birthday? I saw somebody just say his birthday was some different date. Oh, never mind. Never mind. You're writing it backwards. Okay, I was the same. Okay, I got you. Yeah, 10-3, the 27th prime. That's a good point. March 10th, the 69th day of the year. Let's just go back and look at the gematria one more time of the teams. So we got Ducks, Oregon Ducks. I'm just thinking about that in light of tomorrow's date. And then we got the Cougars. The game is on 10/20, right? So date with 30 numerology. Cougars got this 84 thing going. Okay. Okay, I just made a point about this earlier today. So the Cougars got the 84 connection. Remember what I just pointed out about the quarterback's birthday? The game's 224 days after his birthday. The divisors at 84 sum to 224. These are numbers that always get paired together in many different things. And it is interesting that Cougars is 84. So his birthday having a nice arrangement with the team he's going up against. But what's hard is we can't see what it is for the Washington State quarterback. Look at me, 27. Look at me, 27, and the coach. Check the team head to head on CFB. All right. CFB, Washington, Cougars, Oregon Ducks. I wonder if theirs includes the bowl games. College football reference. Oh, that's ESPN. Why is oh, sports reference, here we go. Can I No, that's not the one I want. College football reference, Oregon Ducks head to head. Why I am having trouble finding the stats for his teams here. I don't know why this is such a struggle tonight. College. Oregon Ducks, Cougars head to head. Here, this should do it. This should do it. Here we go. All right, Washington State. These are definitely different numbers. Huh. I wonder why that other side's so off. Well, that is very interesting. That does change things. I do trust this. For the record, for people out there watching, I trust this website right here. Their information seems to be very accurate. Sports Reference. They do all sports. That other website we used, it looked legitimate, but I'm going to check the other website that we started with, and I want to see why it's different. Maybe it goes back further in history. They had more games played there. You got to use the right stats. All right, Winsipedia. Let's see, what year does this go back to? This goes back further in time. The college football reference one only said it went back to 1917, I believe. So this is from 1916. This one goes back further in history. Huh. I wonder why they're only going back to 1916. Well, that makes it a little bit harder to go off the records. Washington State. So going back to 1916, which College Football Reference must do for a reason. This will be the 89th game, which is the 11th Fibonacci number. Washington State trails this. So when you're reading this way, this is how the Oregon's done against Washington State. So Oregon could pick up its 47th win or its 37th loss. And got to come back to our date and think about that. Those dates don't exactly go with the numerology. There's got to be something with this 54 we're overlooking. There's got to be something with that. The last game on a 54 date numerology. Um, in terms of the win-loss records, even though I normally like College Football Reference, in this case, I like that this one goes back further because I knew that their college football program history went back before 1916. So gonna have to research why college football only goes back that far. I'm gonna come back here to the chat and see if anybody was able to locate the birthday of Minshew. Special K, I'm using a Mac. This is the Mac operating system. Sports Gematria made a good observation that Mike Leach can stay on 43 wins at Washington State and can get his 43rd loss all time on a date with 14 numerology, where 43 is the 14th prime, and 140 days before his birthday. Yeah, Justin Herbert, he got the advantage of the 61 ritual last week. Justin Herbert is 61, the 18th prime. Those are good points. Game is on coach's 27th day of his age and QB born 10/3, the 27th prime. That's a good point. Looks like nobody was able to find the birthday of the quarterback. Martin Brown, we're going to do we can do the NFL game, but we're going to go over all of those tomorrow. So the NFL is going to be done tomorrow. So might be smarter to do other sports just to do something different tonight. But if everybody wants to do an NFL game, we can. Brett Kavanaugh should throw out the first pitch if the Brewers make the World Series. That would be funny. Pullman 89 for 89th matchup. Yeah, according to College Pro Football Reference. That is interesting. But I don't understand why they're not counting the full history of the schools. So I don't know to consider if this is the true history. Maybe something happened in college football in 1916. Maybe there was some big rule change. Well, nothing jumped out right away. There's got to be a reason for it, though. All right, doesn't look like anybody came up with this guy's birthday, so that's the missing piece of our decode. We don't have his birthday, but let's go over what we got. Again, Herbert, Justin. That 61's a big number this year. 83 big football number. This guy is being touted as the star, and football is a QB sport. You know, up here in the Pacific Northwest, he's the big talk of the town right here. This Justin Herbert. Um, I guess we can look at other things like his splits, see how he's done on the road so far in his early career. Let's see what they got here for us. Looks like overwhelmingly the chat is filling an Oregon win. Here we go. Let's see what he's got going on. So against Washington State, he doesn't have that much action against Washington State, only 5 passes in his career. So not a lot of history to go off there with that. I guess they don't keep QB win-losses as a stat. They keep what he does in wins and losses. Well, what I was saying earlier in the decode is normally with the birthdays, when they point to a certain team, often that team ends up winning. So I think it's interesting how Herbert's numbers connect to Cougars, but very interesting with the date numerology and the fact that Oregon's coach can become 6-2. I'd feel better about making a pick if we could find the quarterback for Washington State's birthday. So I feel like that's a missing ingredient, which makes this pick a little bit more dangerous. Martin Stadium. Martin's got the gematria 30 and 42. If our stats are right at the website we went with first, that goes all the way back to the early 1900s. Again, the Cougars could pick up their 42nd win all time against Oregon, and I think in this case that's the more reliable site because it goes back to the true beginning of when these college football teams first started. I'm not sure why College Football Reference is missing those games. So I see a lot of you are confident on Oregon. If you want to pick a game and you're filling Oregon, I won't be surprised at all. I mean, their quarterback is the talk of the nation. They're the higher seed. But Washington State's having a year up here, so if we can find that QB's birthday, could give us the final clue that we need. Let's move on to another game because we've been talking about this one for a long time, eating up a lot of time on this game. Yeah, Truth Seeker says we don't have enough data to make a true pick. I agree. That quarterback's birthday missing is crucial. Michigan State. So there should be a game with some history out there. All right, Michigan State head to head. Oh, but I got to make sure we got football here. I think that's basketball. Wait, that should have been. Why is it going to basketball even though I'm searching football? All right, let's try it a different way. Michigan Wolverines. All right, here we go. So, college football reference. College football reference only goes back to 1918. I'm guessing that why? Why is it that I don't know what's up with that, with only going back so far. Hey, one thing that you can always look to in your decode when you're looking at the date, you can write out the date and see if any significant numbers pop there. October 20th. It's one more thing you can look at. Sometimes it's telling. Just like how the NBA season began with the 76ers on October 16th, which is the day leaving 76 days left in the year, plus it's the date with 76 gematria. So, can be another piece you look at. But okay, Michigan State versus Michigan. The Wolverines lead 92-54. Wait, no. They lead 54 to 34 to 4. Okay. So, make a note here. Going to our next game. Michigan beats MSU 54 to 34 to 4. And again, we want to look at our date numerology, see if any of those numbers go together. The thing about 55 in the 10th month, potentially getting the 55th win, is it's the 10th triangular number and the 10th Fibonacci number. So there's a relationship with 55 and 10 in terms of the win record. Just things worth noting. Was I in the other window? Okay. Let's see the last time they played each other was. Okay, the last time they played each other was October 7th. Is that just like isn't that just how it was with the Oregon and Washington State too? Let's find out here. Yeah, if you don't count the full span, it's 54 weeks later. Huh, that's funny. Both those teams played each other 54 weeks ago. Okay. That score, 10 to 14, low scoring game. So Michigan State won the last one 10 to 14. Okay, and just to be sure, that game was in Michigan. Michigan was home. And who's home? I should even see here who's home this time. Brewers up late. Let's see here. All right, so game's at Michigan State. I'm just wondering right away if either team has a connection to the number 54. Spartan's got the 84 thing going on. Spartan's got the connection to 54. Okay, that's interesting. Wolverines. Okay, so the last time they played, Michigan State won. We now know that Spartans is 54. And whoa, what just happened there? So the last time they played was 10/7/2017. 54-date numerology. Spartans won, and now they play 54 weeks later. Hey, by the way, since a lot of you guys are college football fans that are here, this morning when I turned on ESPN First Take, Tim Tebow was being interviewed, and he was talking about Nick Bosa for Ohio State and his decision not to play. And Tim Tebow, his words were he's going to regret it when he's not playing in the college championship, Ohio State versus Alabama. And I thought, wow, did they just reveal for certain what the college football championship's going to be? But just document that, put that in the memory bank. That came straight out of Tim Tebow's mouth today on First Take. So, you know, earlier you guys pointed out that it's the 293rd day of the year. And I'm just looking at the records here. With a Michigan loss, Michigan could fall to 6-2, which is a bit like 62. Just getting the notes that we can. In light of Michigan State winning on the date with 54 numerology, and this game coming 54 weeks later, I think that's definitely worth keeping in mind. Even though they're at home, they're the underdog, the number 24 versus the number 6. Seems that Michigan's lost a lot of big games in the era of Harbaugh since he's gone over there. Thinking about last time score 10-14. Now they're playing again in October, the 10th month. They did last year as well. Let's see here. So now we got to do the thing with the coaches and so okay, let's Jim Harbaugh birthday. Check that out. December 23rd. To the let's see. So Harbaugh's got a birthday 64 days after. That's a big Michigan number there. Michigan has that gematria 64 with the alphabetic order. So that's interesting. So we'll make a note of that. Harbaugh's birthday 64 days after game. Michigan 64. Perfect, right, for the Michigan battle. And it is good to check both directions for the birthday since his last birthday, too. 43 weeks since his last birthday. Big football number. And it is good to look at their age, too. Sometimes these coaches aren't paying attention to how old John Harbaugh is. Not John, we want Jim. Jim Harbaugh, he's 54 years old. Okay, 54. There's that number again. That's making me wonder if the Spartans got his number this time, huh? That's just making me wonder. Got too many windows open here, confusing myself. Interesting that it is 43 weeks, though. Big football number. All right. And for the Michigan football coach or Michigan State football coach, we got Mark D'Antonio. Mark D'Antonio. We need his birthday. March 9th. We just saw somebody with a March 9th birthday. He's 62 years old right now. Could be the magic number on that day. Could make Michigan 6-2 at age 62. And how many days was it from March 9th to the big game here? So that 226 thing, that number that has a lot to do with time, the full span of days. And from to his upcoming birthday, we can take a peek at that too. 141 days. 33 has the connection to 141. Okay. Okay. What's this guy's name again? Mark D'Antonio. Mark D'Antonio is even 54, like Spartans. How about that? And we can note that Harbaugh is 54. Spell his name right. MSU coach is 62. All right, now we need some quarterbacks here. See if I can figure it out quickly enough. If I can't find it, I'll come to the chat and see if somebody's got the name there. Michigan State football QB. I'll just come to the chat. I don't know why this doesn't I just feel like Google could optimize their web search better for college football information. Brian Lewerke, okay. And we already got his age up there. I'm just going to confirm it. Well, very close to his birthday then. 4 days before his 22nd birthday. 22, big number with football there. 22 men on the field. Number 14. Okay, that's the MSU quarterback. We can take a peek at his name gematria. I'll die if it's 54. Okay, goodness. Brian Lewerke. Nothing is screaming out about his numbers to me in light of tomorrow's game. Day leaving 72 days. All right, we need the Michigan quarterback now. Who's our Michigan quarterback? Yeah, JR's move. His name made me think of Mike D'Antonio as well. They are similar names. Oh, Shea Patterson. Okay, number 2, Shea Patterson. 117.97. Let me just confirm it. Okay, nice that their birthdays come up here. Okay, so January 17th to the big game on 10/20. Be his 277th day of his age, or 276 days after his birthday. And again, a lot of times I'll need to just check things, make sure number's not prime. 277, the 59th prime. Okay, so he's playing on a prime day there, Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson. Shea Christopher Patterson. We can also check how many days it is to his upcoming birthday. So it's the full span, 90 days, or else 89 days later, the 11th Fibonacci. Shea Patterson. He's got the 53 thing going on. All right. Got a good name for a football player. Did we get the coaching records for these guys? Maybe that was a missing ingredient. Maybe I forgot to cover the coaching records here. Okay, we need the coach records. Yeah, missed that one. Jim Harbaugh, college football, Michigan, coaching record. All right, here we go. So Michigan, this is going to be his 47th game. We know how important that number is. He can pick up his 35th win or his 13th loss. It's going to be his 97th game all time. Look at that. He could get his 64th win all time, 64 days from his birthday. Okay. Um, and then all time. That 64th win, 64 days from his birthday is really real interesting. And it would be in the Battle of Michigan, right? Um, there's a relationship with 13 and 6. They're the sixth seed right now. 13's the sixth prime. 35 is a number connected to football in the septenarian Chaldean ciphers. It's not arbitrary that the Packers won the first Super Bowl with 35 points. Okay, let's check out the other coach. His name again. He's got that Italian name. Mark D'Antonio. Mark D'Antonio. Wow, he's been there a while, huh? Surprised I don't recognize this guy's name. So it's going to be his 152nd game. And he is going for 105th win or 48th loss. Now, I remember that we had the 48 date numerology, and a lot of times the date numerology is crucial. So he could get his 48th loss on this 48 date numerology. That stands out to me. Um, you know what else I'm thinking about Michigan in light of their record? Do you remember how Harbaugh met with Pope Francis by the numbers, the Catholic Pope? We just saw this big Catholic ritual on Thursday Night Football. He could become 7-1. Catholics got that 71 gematria. Just thinking about that. But let me go out to the chat and see what you guys are thinking right now as we're putting this together. See some of your guys' thoughts. Perhaps somebody has a brilliant thought out there. I know there's some brilliant minds. You guys try not to fight here in this community. It doesn't make sense to fight here in this chat room. I mean, all of you guys are into the same thing. We're trying to work together and learn from each other. That's the whole point of this. You know, if there's any place in the world you want to cooperate, it's right here. The advantage of decoding NFL games is there's more information that's easier to acquire. A lot of times you can't find the birthdays for these college kids, and that can be a little hiccup. But with college sports, it's mostly through the coaches anyway. So it's the coaches that are there long term. The players, not so much. How do I highlight a name? Are you asking like how I like right here, like how I highlight your name? Yeah, 71 is the 20th prime on the 20th, and Jim Harbaugh has that Catholic thing going on in the past. For those of you who don't know, Jim Harbaugh visited Pope Francis, and then right after his visit, his star player at Michigan got drafted by the Denver Broncos. He was supposed to be a top pick, Jake Butt. His last name was Butt after this whole Catholic ritual. But he fell all the way to the 145th pick. Notice Catholics 71 and 145. He got drafted by the Denver Broncos 71 with the 145th pick. And the Broncos just wasted the Cardinals in the Catholic Jesuit ritual by 35 points. 35-point margin, 45-10 in Case Keenum's 45th game. So that 7-1 thing is kind of juicy there with Michigan because that number has relevance to Harbaugh and what we've seen between college and pro. So just there's a comment in the chat. Jake says it's impossible for only part of a college team to be in on the script. It's either all or none. Jake, I have a theory on what's going on in college football. I don't think you need every guy on the college team to be in on it. You really need the coaches. If the coaches are able to communicate between each other, they can intentionally call the wrong defense to set up an. For example, if you shift your whole defense, if you have them cheat to the left side of the field and that opens up the right side, and the offensive coordinator for the other side or the coach, he's running his big play up the right side. And you see this all the time in college football, just wide open field. These guys running all the length of the field. It's not that hard. I mean, it's just like intentionally calling the wrong move in chess if you are trying to help out your opponent. So I think a lot of that's going on in college football, and I think you just need key offensive player, key defensive player on each side of the ball, such as the quarterback. I think in college, a lot of the rigging's done through the coaches and also the officials, of course. I think it's okay to look at all the sports. After we do this college football game, we can do another sport too. Somebody got the Minshew birthday. Very cool. We can come back and look at that. Gardner Minshew. Yeah, here he is, May 16th, 96. What is this website here where this was at? Wait a minute. Is this a different person? This does not look like Washington State University. This is a different school. unless he was there before he went to Washington State. Okay. Hey, you guys, back to the football game we were looking at here. What do you think stands out the most about this narrative with Michigan and Michigan State? To me, the thing about Harbaugh going for his 64th win, 64 days from his birthday in this all Michigan series, to me that's a big one. So I'm just wondering what you guys think about that. Washington State equals 210 and it's Leach's 210th game. That's a good observation. C hands in the chat. He's done a lot of decoding for a number of years. He's good at going through the games each day and figuring out what lines up well. He's had a lot of success at this. Um, the Michigan thing, the strongest narratives to me for the Michigan are the fact that he can get his 64th win 64 days from his birthday, and the other coach can pick up his 48th loss on a date with 48 numerology. Those things are pretty standout in my opinion. Wolverines has the gematria of 5-2, though. That's something that gives me some hesitancy. Michigan State could become 5-2 against the Wolverines. So there's a narrative there both ways. Unfortunately, the other thing that was nice about the Michigan State for them is that they last won on a date with 54 numerology, and this rematch comes exactly 54 weeks later. So I wouldn't say that's a clear read. Michigan currently leads 54 with 54 wins as well. They're stuck on 54 against Michigan State, where Spartans has the 54 name gematria. So tight narrative there. All right, we can switch gears. I wasn't able to verify if that quarterback for Washington State if the birthday that we had was the same guy or if that was a guy with a similar name playing at another school. If we could have found his birthday, we might have been able to get a true read on the Washington State Oregon game. He transferred from that other school. East Carolina, is that what we just saw a second ago? Come back here. That's a different school. There's no indication that he ever went to Northwest Mississippi. Unless this is a high school. I think this is a different guy with the same name. Okay. Oh, you think that is the same guy, Jeremy? You think that's him, huh? Signing day article. All right, well, let's just check if that is the right birthday, May 16th. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Now that's interesting right there because remember, that's what his name equals. That's what his name equals, and that's how many weeks the win streak is 158. That's why the birthday is that thing you need. So again, the win streak goes back 158 weeks. Gardner Minshew equals 158, and now the game is on his 158th day of his age. I mean, that's crazy right there. That is some crazy alignment. So I didn't see how the 54 connects to either team though. I don't know if there's something I'm missing there with that. Feels like that number's got to be something. Washington State's 84 and Cougars is 84. That's something. Well, I know that somebody there really liked Oregon because of the ritual with the day, the 6-2 thing. But that's why I say you always want to look. I mean, that alignment right there is just something else. His name's 158. The win streak goes back 158 weeks. It's on his 158th day of his age. The game. That is something else. So let you make the call on it, but that's quite the alignment for the Washington State University quarterback. In Washington State, all time could pick up their 42nd win, too. Big symbolic number. Washington is the 42nd state. Big Freemason number. George Washington, a Freemason. All right, what do you guys want to do next? What game would you like to do next? Would you like to do a different sport? Jeremy points out that college game day is at the Washington State campus tomorrow. Um, that is interesting. College game day has that 61 gematria. Big numbers on tomorrow night's game. 61 the 18th prime. So we got a request for another college game. NBA, NHL. I think we'll save the NFL for tomorrow because tomorrow we're doing the full NFL decode. So we'll go over all the NFL games rather and just cover something different tonight. Okay. NBA. Did somebody throw out a game for the NBA? Yeah, it's got to be him, especially with the way the whole 158 thing lines up. So T Wolves Mavs. Okay, T Wolves Mavs. Is this game tomorrow? Let's see here. Assuming this game's tomorrow. All right, here we go. So October 20th, so we're riding with the same date numerology. Mavericks, Timberwolves, head to head. So they played each other 116 times. It's going to be the 117th game tomorrow, number that connects to 13. Thinking about how Dallas has that gematria 13. Just right away, I'm just looking for things that make sense. 13 equals 117. Dallas equals 13, going to be the 117th game. So that's a big one. They're playing on a date with 68 numerology. That's a big basketball number. Basketball 68. Let's see. Let's just look at the team names real quick. Mavericks, Dallas, Mavericks. There's that. And they're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay. If I remember right, they got a big 93 connection. Minnesota Timberwolves 93, just like Minneapolis, Minnesota in the same cipher on the 93rd meridian. The game tomorrow is in Dallas. The last time they played each other, ooh, wow, the Mavericks are on a skid against this team. 1, 2, they've lost 5 in a row. They've lost 6 of the last 7. Before that, they were doing nicely. If they won tomorrow, they would have lost 6 of the last 8 on a date with 68 numerology. But right away, what I like is just Dallas is 13, and 13 connects to 117, and the game is in Dallas. So we want to look at the coaches. Rick Carlisle. So the game's just before Rick Carlisle's birthday. He's 58 years old. Let's see if anything pops about his numbers. 57. Whoops. Okay. So we want Rick Carlisle's coaching record. All right, here we go. Rick Carlisle. Let's see. This makes me. I remember when Rick Carlisle was the coach of Detroit. Was it really that long ago? God. Okay. So he's coached 805 games with Dallas. He's 437 and 368. All time. Let's see. All time he get his 719th win. Just see if that number has any bearing here. 128th prime. And he's going against Minnesota Timberwolves again. Got our team name gematria down here. All right. And we need the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Thibodeau. All right, January 17th. January 17th, think about that in light of the date. So a span of 277 days, that's the 59th prime number. Did that number relate to oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, doesn't connect to our teams. Let's get his coaching record. See if anything pops about those numbers. Oops, wrong thing. Here we go. So it's going to be his 166th game. He's going for his 79th win or his 88th loss, and that's in his time with Minnesota. Interesting that he's at 333 wins. He could pick up his 227th career loss. That's jumping out at me in a big way because 227 is the 49th prime number, and he could get it against Dallas. So, um, that has some rhyme and reason to it. The overall matchup favors Dallas, the 117th game. Interesting that his birthday is January 17th, but the fact that he can get his 227th all-time loss, the 49th prime against Dallas, that carries weight to me. I think that's very relevant. So we'll see what going out to the chat here. JR Smooth's got the Mavs too. I was liking the way that lines up there with the Mavs, the games, and the fact that the Minnesota coach can pick up that 227th all-time loss. Those prime number relationships are huge. I see your guys' conversation right now about the Giants and Falcons. You guys are talking about things that I'm looking at. We'll go over that tomorrow. Looks like a lot of people, you guys aren't really into the basketball decode. I like Dallas in tomorrow's game the way things line up here. So it's good to look also at a star player just to get some more information. So in Dallas, you think of Dirk Nowitzki. Um, might just be interesting to see how many days it is from his birthday. Dirk's been in the league a long time, 123 days after his birthday, Dirk Nowitzki. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have that 123 connection. That's interesting. 40 years old is Dirk. Amazing. Alrighty. Dennis Smith Jr. is the new star for the Mavericks. I don't know hardly any of the more modern names in the NBA. I just know that the Mavericks still have Nowitzki going. November 25th. Let's see. Game's 36 or a span of 37 days from his birthday. Chris says more lines up for the Wolves. How so, Chris? What's lining up for the Wolves here in this game that I'm overlooking? Well, I mean, they have to get the 51st win at some point, so it's gonna come. I mean, the teams play each other twice a year. It's not like it's rare, but, if it was a 51 date numerology, I would say that mattered. I think what I've always noticed is more crucial in basketball is the overall regular season record in light of how things line up. The next game will be the 118th game, and that's also another Dallas, Texas number. So they might have to hold off on that 51st win minute for a second. Yeah, Emil sees the 227th loss, the 49th prime, and Dallas is 49. So it also makes sense for him to get that loss in Dallas. So I don't think Moore's lining up for the Timberwolves just based on the 51 thing. If it was a 51 date numerology, I would agree with you. Then I think that would be a stronger narrative. Don't worry, Lakin, if you're late. Once this is over, you can watch it over from the beginning and it won't be like you missed anything. I didn't feel that the Dodgers had the edge today because the Dodgers and Brewers have all these overlapping numbers. And like I pointed out, that pitcher that was going for the Brewers, he'd been dominant in the playoffs, whereas the Dodgers pitcher, he hadn't done that great historically pitching in this round of the playoffs. I remember him blowing it in a big spot last year as well. So, but yeah, the game's not over. But the pitching thing, in terms of the pitcher matchups, it seemed that it's more favorable for the Brewers. This will be the Mavericks home opener tomorrow too. For another thing about tomorrow, October 20th, 2018, it's a date with 41 numerology. Dallas has that gematria of 41, the 13th prime. Home has that gematria of 41 and 13. Dallas is home opener on a date with 41 numerology. 13 connects to 117. It's the 117th game. So home's also 67. They can pick up their 67th win in the series. So I don't know. From the angles I'm looking at here, it looks good for Dallas tomorrow at home. Their home opener. They get that 67th win at home, 117th matchup. Comes back to 13. They can break that losing streak too. They've lost 5 in a row. They can stop the skid at 5. Chris, if you're feeling that the narratives for the Timberwolves, I mean, by all means, go with what you're feeling. But I'm just letting you know what I'm looking at here. Sports Gematria said Mavs had their pick this year was round 1, pick 3. Who was the Mavericks' top pick this year? What was his name? We can look from the rookie. Detlef Schrempf. Man, that takes me way back in time. Let's see. I don't have a clue what's going on in the NBA. Did they get Aiton from Arizona? Oh, yeah, I thought so. He went to the Suns. He stayed local. Luca. Okay, that's who they got. Luca. So we can just take a peek and just see how he lines up because he's going to be having his home debut. Team he got played for. He's born on the 59th day of the year. 18 years old. Seven months and 22 days after, like 22-7 in reverse, 22 divided by 7. Our pi number, 227, the 49th prime, 33 weeks and 3 days after, too. That's interesting. You know what else is a big number there? Or what is it? I'm trying to think. What's is Dirk's jersey 41? He does wear number 41 in Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki, you know? So uh, I think tomorrow's about Dallas. I haven't done anything for the NFL tonight because I'm going to save that for tomorrow, Saturday, when we go through all the NFL. Because tomorrow's a ton of NFL action, so tonight's a good night to talk about the other things. Lakers, Rockets. Okay, let's check it out. Lakers, Rockets. Let's see what's going on there. That should be a big one. So that's going to be the home opener for the Lakers. First away game for the Rockets. Houston's a 3.5-point favorite. Remember, it's the battle of the Jameses here. James Harden versus King James. King James 35. Let's check it out. See what we got here. So this is going to be the 217th game. The Lakers could pick up their 137th win, the 33rd prime. The Rockets could pick up their 81st. If the Lakers won, they'd have a 57 win advantage. Let's see here. Can look at how long it's been since they last played. I think I might have forgot to do that with the last game to check how many days it was since the last game. They last played April 10th, 2018. So that's 193 days later, or 194 days. 193 is the 44th prime. I believe that's 71 days before LeBron's birthday, this game. 10/20/2018, and LeBron's birthday is December 30th. He's going to turn 34. So if you don't count the span, that's 71 days before LeBron's birthday. Pretty sure this is the Lakers' 71st season. Remember, LeBron joined them on July 1st. They think we were in 1/7 or 7/1. So yeah, here it is. Lakers' 71st season. That's the 20th prime. 71 days before LeBron's birthday. Yep, Rockets has that gematria 44. So does James Harden and Chris Paul. So that's a big one. James Harden's 44. Chris Paul is 44. Rockets 44. That's a big one. Let's think about some other numbers. Los Angeles Lakers. Houston Rockets. I don't believe 217 is a prime number. Just want to verify that's the case. It's going to be the 217th game. It's not. It's divisible by 31. Okay, so let's take a peek at the coaches here. Ty Lue's still the coach of the Rockets, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, what am I saying? No, he's the coach of the Caps. Uh, Rockets coach. Who is the Rockets coach? Is it Mike D'Antonio? Okay, Mike D'Antoni's the Rockets coach. His birthday's May 8th. Check this out. 165 days after the game. Scottish Rite number. And the Lakers coach is Walton's son, isn't it? He had to lose against his dad's old team. His father played for the Blazers the year they won their only championship. Lakers coach. Luke Walton, what's his birthday? March 28th, the 77th day of the year. 206 days after, 206. How about his upcoming birthday? 159 days. Scottish Rite number. Both interesting how both coaches have the Scottish Rite numbers. 165 days and 159 days. Scottish Rite with our two alphabetic orders. If the Lakers win, they'll have a win margin of 57 games. They'd be 137 to 80, 57 game difference. Last year, remember when LeBron scored 57 on the date with 57 numerology? The real King James, part of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. So right now I'm favoring LeBron to get his 137th win because, again, that's the 33rd prime. And just think about it. LeBron's 33. James is 33, you know. So Luke Walton's 38 right now. Let's look at the win-loss records. Dirk Nowitzki is older than Luke Walton. That's funny. So he comes into the game with 165 games coached, another Scottish Rite number. He's looking for his 62nd win or his 105th loss. Remember how tomorrow's the 293rd day of the year, which is the 62nd prime? Really good day to get the 62nd win. Very good day for win number 92. Tomorrow's the 293rd day, the 62nd prime. Great day for win number 62. And if I'm not mistaken, there's something up with Staples Center. No, I guess I'm wrong about that. I thought there was some 166 connection to the Lakers. Maybe not. But the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm favoring the Lakers. Let's check Mike D'Antoni. So Mike D'Antoni with Houston. He's got 165 games too. Scottish Rite number. He's looking for his 121st win or his 46th loss. The interesting thing about 121 wins is L's the 12th letter and A's the first, so 12 one's like 121. The 46th loss. I think the stronger narrative is Luke Walton picking up his 62nd win, and the only thing here about this win margin potential difference is that if Houston won, it would be a difference of 55 games. It'd be a difference of 55 games, right? Los Angeles Lakers is 257, which is the 55th prime number. Los Angeles also has that gematria 55. But even still, I'm just, it's always good to look at it both ways, like, because you got to string your narratives out there and say, okay, well, it could be this way too. Just looking at the overall win losses. I favor the Lakers because the 62 has a strong relationship with the day in the year. And that margin of 57, in light of all of the Scottish Rite numbers, plus the 137th win, the 33rd prime, and how that would come back for LeBron in his debut in Los Angeles, a city that even sprawls into the 33rd parallel. So we did notice that the last game was 193 days ago, which was an interesting observation because that is the 44th prime. And I can give you there is a 44 for LeBron as well. Rockets is 44, James Harden's 44, Chris Paul's 44, so his chosen one, what's tattooed on LeBron's body. So come to the chat, see what you guys are thinking. Yeah, Lakers is absolutely 66, just like LeBron, just like how LeBron and the Lakers played last year on March 11th. For both teams, it was the 66th game. D'Angelo saying, what about the Lakers losing to Houston and the Dodgers advancing to the World Series, who they lost to last year in the World Series? It's a thought. Yeah, if you guys don't know, here, look, I'll just show you this real quick in case you guys don't know this. It was March 11th, 2018, Lakers Cavs box score. Check this out. So notice both teams, 66th game when they played each other, right? The 66th game with the alphabetic order, Lakers is 66, LeBron is 66. When you do LeBron James, it's 66 in reverse reduction. And the Cavs went down with 113 points on March 11th, a date that's written 11/3, like 113. Again, the National Basketball Association is 113. And from March 11th, from that day to the day that LeBron signed with the Lakers, if you count the full span of days, it's 113 days. See how nice that ritual was? So, um, let's see if we can look at LeBron James's all-time stats against the Rockets. I'm not sure if it's going to have it here. Oh, that's just I want for his career. Let's do a Pro Basketball Reference. Let's find LeBron's stats against the Rockets. Oh, it doesn't keep a win-loss. That's too bad. Well, I was hoping it would give us a win-loss percentage against the team, but I guess not. I think in light of it being 71 days before LeBron's birthday and it's the Lakers' 71st season and him signing on July 1st, I think that's really big too. I guess we can measure from July 1st to the game, see also what we get there. 111 days later. That's hilarious. It's also a span of 112 days, and that matters because that's a big Houston number. So he's facing Houston. Span of 112 days. The 111 is good too because basketball games 111. I'm not expecting the Lakers to go to the NBA Finals this year. I don't see how they. The Warriors got all the numbers this year, especially the opening night ritual. But you also got to love that it's 216 games under the belt in light of LeBron just coming from the 216 area code. So I'm favoring the Lakers there in that one. Oh, I see you screaming at me to go to LeBron's page again. Alright, hold on. Game finder. I see game log. Game finder. Finder. Zach, go to LeBron's page, go more, then go game finder. More. Okay, more. Game finder. Okay. Opponent, Houston Rockets. So we got to count it up, huh? We got to count it up. 27 games. So this is going to be his 28th game against the Rockets. He's got 11 wins against. Okay, so he's got 11 wins against the Rockets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's 11 and 16 against the Rockets, right? If he got his 12th win, it would be with Los Angeles. Los Angeles has this gematria 37, which is the 12th prime. And he'd be stuck on 16 losses against the Rockets. 53 is the 16th prime. So to me, there's rhyme and reason to that too. Him becoming 12 and 16 against the Rockets in his first home game with Los Angeles. Houston lost with 112 points in their home opener. That's why I love gematria, because you can just see those things right away. I don't even know what night they played. They played Thursday? Before that? There it is. Yeah. It's just so repetitive. These coaches. See what's up. So Rockets are 0-1 at home. They came out lackluster. The world of sports commentary is so in the moment. If Houston starts off 0-2, people are going to be questioning, is it over in Houston? Let's see. Yeah, I'll never forget that 122-121 game with the Warriors. Golden State 122, Warriors 121. Los Angeles LeBrons, that must be something going on there this year that I don't know about. Oh, I see. I see what you do there. Yeah, you got all the tricks, buddy. That makes it easier to count. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, well, now that I'm counting this way, I'm counting different. Hold up. Oh, did it add a playoff game in here? No, 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 it's not a playoff game. Why is that one highlighted like that? I don't understand that. 2, 3, 6. Yeah, there is 12. So actually, if he won with the Lakers, it would be his 13th win, not his 12th. I was counting wrong before. 13 matters too, because King James became a king at 13 months of age. When LeBron won his finals with the Cavs, it was his 13th season. And 13 also obviously connects to LA, right? Oh, that's always a big number with LA. Don't forget LA's 41, also like King, were 41's the 13th prime, like how King James became a king at 13 months of age. Part of the reason we knew he would win in his 13th season. Yeah, so you guys were ahead of me on the 12 wins and the 13. Yep. So I like that even more. I mean, 13 is an even stronger LA number. The 37-12 prime thing. And I guess that's kind of interesting too that he already has 12, which relates to LA. So he goes from that to 13. So I'm liking that narrative tomorrow. And don't forget that the date has 48 numerology either, because James equals 48, just using the alphabetic order. Jim Four's looking at the Bucks Celtics game, no 11-1-18. Maybe he's thinking that could be a potential NBA Finals riddle. Oh, Supermod is just so much smarter than me. Yeah, that does make things a lot easier. I will do that in all weeks going forward. I've always been counting these things out. I could be saving some time with these tricks. I appreciate that. Thank you for that tip. Huge. Jonathan's got some NFL connections for the week. I'm looking forward to the NFL chat tomorrow. You guys are getting good. All right, you guys want to look at another basketball game, another sport? What would you like to do next? I say we go for another half hour here. Go for another half hour at least. Like I said in my sports decode recently that the thing with baseball is you have to watch the clues early in the season. Like a lot of times the no-hitters and some of the standout games, there's always big clues. And this year I was working. So I've done horrible work overall with the baseball season this year, and I attribute it to not paying attention like I have in years past. So um, the thing with the Dodgers was the season began this was the earliest start in MLB history on the 88th day of the year, and the Dodgers haven't won the World Series since 88. California equals 88. Um, the thing about the Brewers is in the beginning of the year and the little time I had when I was trying to pick up on things, I kept seeing these clues with Seattle. All of these rituals with Seattle in the Major League Baseball season. And the thing about the Brewers is they began in Seattle. So perhaps that's what it was all about. All these Seattle tributes earlier in the year. If the Brewers make it, that's it. But I'll have to do. I'll have to look at the game 7. Is tonight's game over? Or is it official that the Brewers won tonight? Well, it looks like they have a chance to add on to it, but it's not over till it's over. So we'll wait and see what happens tonight, and I'll take a peek at game 7. Is Ben Scully still going? Celtics Knicks. Celtics Knicks. Celtics Knicks head to head. Okay, that's tomorrow as well. see. Woo! They played a lot of games. 471. All right, the Knicks are at 181, the 42nd prime. NYC has that 42 gematria. Where's this game tomorrow? This game's in New York. Boston's a 9-point favorite. Just looking at I'm looking at the records to see if anything jumps out about them right away. Let's just look at a little team named gematria. See if anything's going with the dates. So it's a date with 41 numerology. New York's got a lot in common with October. Remember, October in New York, they got all the same numbers, just in reverse order. Let's see here. New York Knicks. So the one date numerology connections, the Knicks is the Knicks on a 41 date, and Celtics here. Boston Celtics. It's going to be a date with 48 numerology. So we got to think about these win totals. Is there anything to 291? No. Is there anything to how many games that they come into the series with? 471. Nothing jumping out there. All right, so let's take a peek at the head coaches. Boston Celtics coach Brad Stevens. Oh, yeah, Brad Stevens, the good Catholic. I remember them doing a special on him last year. His birthday is October 22nd, so this is right before his birthday. He's about to turn 42 years old. That means he's 41 right now. Brad Stevens. Got that New York gematria. He's got that 39 like New York in the same cipher, and the 168, New York City, also 168. Let's see, Brad Stevens coaching record here. College. There we go. 411 games. He's looking for his 223rd win. There's a symbolic one. Amazing that he's a game away from his 223rd win and 190th loss. That's really interesting to me. We know who runs the NBA. Synagogue of Satan's 190, and if you put the in the front, it's 223. Wonder if his record will end up being here 223 and 190. The last time they played, the Celtics won 121-112. 233 points, the 13th Fibonacci. That game was February 24th. See if we can get anything there. It was on the 55th day of the year. Let's see. That was a span of 239 days, the 52nd prime. Also just 34 weeks later if you don't count the full days. How do you spell? Yeah, that's how you spell it. Knickerbockers, their full name. Okay, I just want to look at these things, see if there's any relevance. Okay, Brad Stevens. He could get his 223rd win, which is the 48th prime number on a date with 48 numerology. So that makes sense. His wins could connect to the date. That has some rhyme and reason to it. Let's see here. And Boston Celtics is 48 too. Get it over their longtime rival, the Knicks. Who's the Knicks coach? David. Oh, yeah. They hired this guy by the numbers. David Fizdale. Let's see. Where's his birthday at? June 16th. He's 44 years old. Okay. Whoops. Whoa, I can't hit the right button here. June 16th. 126 days, 18 weeks. Do we have a connection on that number? New York Knicks, 61 to 18th prime. Be a real big win for the Knicks. Celtics are the favorite in the East. Let's take a look at his coaching record and his name gematria. David Fizdale. 68 date numerology. Big basketball number, so his name's just like basketball in that cipher. 68 date numerology. Got a nice alignment with his birthday in the game. Okay, all right, we got to see the coaching record now. So with Memphis, he did 101 games and was 50 and 51. Right now, his record's at 51 and 51. We can sometimes in the NBA, what a team did in the prior game is kind of a clue for the next game. Okay. They lost to the Nets in the Battle of New York. And they beat the Hawks. They beat the Hawks with 126, right? And then we just saw that with his birthday, that it's 126 days. This next game against the Celtics is 126 days. And I'm trying to think what it is in old basketball history. I think back in the day when the Celtics were dominating the NBA, the only team that beat them in their era of dominance was the Hawks. Go back and look at old NBA history. I think there's this old riddle with the Celtics and Hawks that I've talked about in the past, but it's been a minute since I looked at it. NBA Finals champion history. Let's see. Let's see. Where's where they got their big long streak going? All right, here we go. Celtics. 76ers. I thought there was something with New York Knicks. Hold on. What is it with the Hawks? I swear there was something with the Hawks. Okay, here was another one. Celtics, Hawks, Celtics. So it did happen one time where the Hawks interrupted the Celtics when they were dominating too. Okay. That was in 58. Huh. Okay. Just thinking about what this riddle could be, because a lot of times the NBA is just like an ongoing script, or you just like you notice like, oh, okay, they did that last game, and then this game happened. Okay. So I'm just thinking this is interesting. They win their first home game over the Hawks. Now they face the Celtics, and this time it's going to be 126 days after the head coach's birthday, who's in his first year with the Knicks. 51 and 51 all time. I mean, it's going to be his 103rd game, the 27th prime. Let me just come out to the chat, see if you guys are saying anything brilliant. Looks like you guys are talking NFL. You guys are okay. So 7-2 was the final score, and today's the day, leaving 72 days left in the year. Very interesting score. Today leaves 72 days left in the year. Or wait, no. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Tomorrow leaves 72 days left in the year, I believe. So maybe that's pointing to tomorrow. October 20th, tomorrow leaves 72 days left in the year. So that could be a clue for tomorrow's game right there. That could be a big clue for tomorrow night's game. That's 7-2. Good point, Hickok. Hickok's looking at the owner for the NBA. That's a good thought. We should do that for the NBA too. That's a tight narrative there with the Celtics and Knicks. So one more time at the gematria. Boston. David Fizdale, 103. And it's going to be his 103rd game. It's going to be his 103rd game tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Probably be the biggest win of his career, beating the Celtics. So 48 date numerology again. So it's Brandon Stevens could pick up his 223rd win, the 48th prime on a date with 48 numerology. Thinking about something. New York with if you take into account the master numerology at K, because K is the 11th letter, New York is also 48. Something to keep in mind. You get that 223rd win over New York, the 48th prime, but that Fizdale narrative is interesting too. So that one is tight. For all of you guys' football chatter, something to think about is the Rams are 6-0 for the first time since the Super Bowl was the Rams and the Patriots, and the Rams have been getting a lot of tributes every single week. Anybody else want to look at another sport? Any NHL fans here or anything else you guys want to look at? Emil, what you just did, I just think that's too much mathematic manipulation to do that. I don't think you want to do things like that and then try to call games. Yeah, Warriors versus Celtics is what I'm expecting for the finals too, especially after what happened opening night. For those of you who didn't catch what happened on opening night, the Warriors won with their typical 108 points. Golden State Warriors equals 108. Oracle equals 108. Geometry 108. Steph Curry born on Pi Day. The Celtics won with 105. Add 108 plus 105, 213 points, like the NBA Finals is 213. Should we look up a cricket game? Oh, I've never done cricket. Detroit Red Wings. Please. Okay, let me see here. While I'm looking this up, I got to tell you this ironic thing that happened today. My buddy who lives out here, I met him in Seattle. He moved out to where I live now a year before I did. We live about 10 miles from each other now. He wanted me to go on a hike with him today, and I turned on the radio when I was about to drive over to his place to meet up to go on this hike. And when I turn on the radio, the song that was on the radio, I don't know if you guys know this song, but it's from like when I was in my early teenage years. It's called Fastball the Way, a song about like where were we ever going if we didn't really know the way or whatever it is. This guy takes me on this hike today and we get lost. He didn't know the path, and then, oh my goodness, we end up having to trek through this creek. I mean, it wasn't that warm here. I mean, it's kind of chilly in the air. Oh my goodness. I was like, that song was a warning. My friend taking me on this crazy hike. Luckily, we finally found our way back, but let's see. Red Wings, Panthers. Okay, here we go. Wow, the Red Wings are 0-5-2. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I'm used to them being the dominants, playing the Panthers, who aren't doing so hot either. Okay. Red Wings, Panthers, head to head. Let's check another state here. Uh, where's hockey reference at? I don't want 2018-19. Hockey reference. Red Wings head to head. Why 2018-19? I want all time. Okay, here we go. Who are they playing again? The Panthers. So it's going to be the 45th game. This game is on what date again? October. This is October 20th. It's going to be the 45th game. The Red Wings lead 22-9. Or no. Yeah, 22-9-5. Okay. OL. What is that stat? OL. Can somebody help me out? What is this OL stat? Have a good night, Special K. Thanks for always being here and supportive and helping. What is this OL stat for hockey? I know about wins, losses, and ties. What's OL? Overtime loss. Got it. Got it. Okay. I didn't realize that hockey kept the stats separate for overtime loss. Not just a loss? The NFL is all day tomorrow. Today we're doing basketball, college football. We're just doing our first hockey game. Okay, so the 45th game, nothing's jumping out big about the 45th game in terms of the date numerology. Let's look at the team names. Panthers, Florida, Panthers. Okay, and then we want the Red Wings. Oh, Red Wings 45. Okay, that's important. Detroit. So the Red Wings had that double 45 thing going on. It's going to be the 45th matchup between the two teams. All right, Red Wings coach Jeff Blashill. See what he's got going on for numbers. 48 date numerology this game's on. Blashill 30 date numerology as well. Got some alignment with the date. I noticed the 222 because I just was looking at the possibility of the Panthers with a win, they'd become 2-2-2. They could do it over the Red Wings in the 45th matchup. Let's see his coaching record. So he's looking for his 105th win or his 111th loss. And again, Florida Panthers, how did they connect to that? Anything there? Okay. And we need the Florida Panthers coach, Bob Boner. Really? Really? He's got the 45 thing going. Bob's got the 62 thing going. It's the 293rd day of the year, the 62nd prime. Bob Boner. Okay. It's going to be his 86th game. He's going for his 44th win. That would make he could get his 44th win over Detroit as the 44 gematria. So that stands out in a big way. His next loss will be his 33rd loss. And I'm liking that 44th win thing. That's having some rhyme and reason to it. Also, how they could become 2-2-2 against the coach with the 222 gematria. Again, they're head to head. Yeah, I'm liking that narrative. We can look at their last matchup. Or wait, maybe it doesn't allow us to do that here. I guess it doesn't have the like NFL reference. We can go back and look at the last games. Let's see. Anything else you want to look at with regards to that hockey game we got up? All right, you guys, we can look at one last game. We got time for one last game. Do you guys want to look at the MLB World Series game tomorrow? They're the National League Championship Series. We can do that. Let's see if they got the pictures up for tomorrow. MLB 27, baseball 27. Tomorrow, the day leaving 72 days left in the year. Let's see what we got here tomorrow. Let's look at our pitching matchup. So they got the young guy going for the Dodgers, their young ace, versus the guy with the number 45, Jules. All right, let's see here. All right. All right, so again, the game's October 20th, 2018. We'll just put all the date numerology out here. I know some people haven't been here the whole time, so we got a 68 date numerology. We got a 41 date numerology. That's a big number over there with the LA. LA's got that 41 thing going. The last time they beat the Brewers, it was number 41 on the mound who gave it up. 13th inning, 41 the 13th prime. Got a 14 date numerology. LA's got the 14 too in the base ciphers. Just pull it up here so you can see it. LA's got the 41-14 thing going. And we got a 48 date numerology as well. And a 30. It's the 20th day of the month. And it's the 293rd day, leaving 72 days remaining. So, Walker Buehler, we're going to want to look at his birthday. Saw yesterday how well the numbers lined up between the two pitchers, both pointing to the Red Sox, plus it was the manager's birthday. Let's see here. So it's 84 days after his birthday. It's also his 85th day of his age. And what that makes me think of right away is that's a big number in Boston. Boston's got the 85-22 thing. Just for the record, Boston leads the NBA with 17 championships. Basketball's 85 and 22 in those same ciphers. Remember, NBA is 17, Boston's 117. But it's very interesting that it's on his 85th day of his age in light of the fact that he could potentially help his team advance to play Boston. So we'll write that. The game is 84 days, span of 85 after Walker Buehler's birthday. And just in case you get confused by the 84 days, 85, remember, it's two ways of looking at it. The game is 84 days after his birthday. That's if you don't count the day that was his birthday. If you count that day, then it's his 85th day of being his age. So it's important that Boston's 85 and they have a chance to advance to play them. So now we got to look up Jules. And his birthday is January 7th. You know what else we should do just for good measure? We should look both ways. So it's 281 days or a span of 282 to Buehler's next birthday. It's 281 prime. The 60th prime. The 60th prime. So we'll think about that. All right. For Jules, the game is 41 weeks. It's 41 weeks after Jules' birthday. Okay. 286 days, 287 days, or 41 weeks. That's very interesting that it's got the LA number there, plus we got the LA date numerology. Then we're going to want to look at both of these guys' names, gematria. Remember how it was 281 days to his upcoming birthday, the 60th prime? So that's important. Okay, that is interesting. Just look at his name and more breakdown here. Buehler. Is that a? He's got a little overlap with Wisconsin there. You see that? Got this 118 thing going. Okay, that's interesting. Walker Buehler. Okay, and then this guy's name is not easy to spell. Checking out his numbers. He's got that 79 name gematria, just like the word pitcher. And didn't these guys just face each other earlier in the series? And yeah, they did. It was 79 days from Walker Buehler's birthday, and he lost, and Chassim won on that day. So now he's trying to avenge it. Okay. So now we want to look at the managers. We got Dave Roberts there for the Dodgers, who used to be with Boston. Remember, Dave Roberts stole the base with Boston. Could potentially face his old team. It would be the Dave Roberts series. So the game's it's 142 days after Dave Roberts' birthday, or a span of 143 days. And how old was Dave Roberts? 46 right now. Craig Counsell's the Brewers. August 21st. Game 60 days after his birthday. There's that number again. Or span of 61. It's on his 61st day of his age, the 18th prime. That's a big one because baseball's 18. Okay, Craig Counsell, he's 48 years old. Let's see. Take a peek at their names. Craig Counsell. Both their names got the 48 gematria. That's something. 48 date numeral. Or wait, was it Counsell alone that was 48? I guess not. No, I'm mistaken there. All right, so Dave Roberts has the 48 connection. We got 48 date numerology. Counsell's got the big Freemasonry numbers. Can look at their manager records. Dave Roberts. Let's see. So with the Dodgers in the postseason, he's 21-14. It's going to be his 36th game. Let's check it out with Craig Counsell. He's 5-3 in the postseason. I'm just thinking about the numbers here. If he lost, he'd be 5-4. Big baseball number. But in that same breath, he could also become 6-3, which is a major league number. Dave Roberts, I'm looking at his numbers, seeing if anything jumps. If Dave Roberts won the World Series, he'd get to that magic number of 26. If he won the World Series this year. I did think at the beginning of the year that the Dodgers had a real strong chance to win it in light of it being the 88th season, but we'll see. The Brewers definitely have a very interesting narrative, especially with all the Seattle tributes at the end of the year, at the beginning of the season, and the fact the Brewers are originally from Seattle. If Dave Roberts gets his 22nd win, you guys, here's what I'm thinking about. Dave Roberts getting his 22nd win, that's the master builder number, right? And with the alphabetic order, master builders 147, with the rules of numerology 57, just like World Series. So there is some rhyme and reason to that. I know a lot of you guys are big on the Brewers making it, and they very well could. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Again, I'm not doing my best baseball work here, but I'm thinking about the symbolism of both of these managers' next wins. So 22, and that 22nd win to advance to the World Series has some merit to it. And out of what's the more relevant baseball number between 63 and 54, it's definitely the 54. 54 outs in a complete game. I'm thinking overall record. His next, you know what's interesting though? His next overall he has 316 wins in the regular season, 5 in the postseason. This is Craig Counsell. His next win will be his 322nd win all time. That's fascinating. He's at 311 losses right now. A 215. Come out to the chat, see what you guys are thinking. What are your minds thinking right now? We've been for a long time. We've been talking about the potential of the Red Sox going to the World Series and winning in 5 games, because that would be 99 days from the Super Bowl. And again, this is the 99th NFL season. They'd win 4-1, like how Super Bowl's 41, and like how Tom Brady's 41. LA's looking for their 99th win of the season. That's something there. That's a great observation, because Brewers has that gematria of 99. They could get their 99th win of the season over the Brewers. And of course, LA's 13, where 13 is 99. I got to tell you, looking at a lot of these numbers here, the way they stack, the 41 date numerology, the game being 41 weeks after the pitcher for the Brewers. Here, let's look at their postseason records. Hold on, I want to point out that Dave Roberts can get 22nd postseason win. Oh, whoops. 22 is the master builder number. It's very interesting how that number syncs perfectly with World Series. And Craig Counsell can become 6-3 or 5-4 in the postseason. Remember, the Red Sox lost 54 games this year, won 108, Major League 108, baseball 54. Okay, Dodgers could pick up 99th win. Brewers 99. That's a big one. 1399, because we got this date with the 41, the 13th prime number connection. Let's look at the pitcher stats here. Actually, let's just go to his career stats at first. Where hold on. All right, so in the postseason, let's see what his numbers look like. The NLCS, he got the loss facing the same pitcher he faces today or tomorrow. Didn't have a very good game. 7-inning pitch, 4 earned runs. Okay. Overall, he has not had the best numbers in his postseason career, the young guy. Um, compare that with the Brewers ace. What number does Bueller wear, by the way? I just got to check that out. What's his jersey number? I know that Chacin wears 45, the big major league number. Number 21, okay. Dave Roberts at 21 postseason wins. All right. His stats in the postseason aren't bad. 2 wins, no losses. Not a single earned run. Wow. He's been lights out. Well, his stats definitely favored Walker Bueller's. No doubt about that. Um, okay, let's take a peek at their names, see if there was anything there with the dates. One more time. Got that 79, the pitcher number. So again, let's just go over everything that we looked at. The date numerology has numbers that relate to LA. We just saw the Brewers win it 7-2. The next game's on the day, leaving 72 days left in the year. The game is 84 days, or on Walker Bueller's 85th day of his age. Boston 85, who's awaiting the winner in the World Series. It is 281 days to his upcoming birthday. That's the 60th prime. Walker Bueller 60. The game is 41 weeks after Jewel Chacin's birthday. LA 41. I like that Dave Roberts can get his 22nd postseason win to advance to the World Series. That's an interesting one. Dave Roberts 48. We got the 48 date numerology. I know he has the 168 too. In light of him being that big player for Boston, Massachusetts has that 168 gematria as well. And I just noticed that Massachusetts is also 84, and it's 84 days after his birthday. 85. The fact that the Dodgers could pick up their 99th win of the season is very interesting as well over the Brewers. Because if the World Series, yeah, if the world, imagine if the World Series is Boston and LA, and so is the Super Bowl. What's sad is people still won't catch on. Today on First Take, I turned on First Take today, and again, I heard Tim Tebow say that the college football championship is going to be Ohio State and Alabama, but he wasn't like making a prediction. He was talking about how that what's his name? Is it Nick Saban? I can't think of his name right now, but that player who's in the news for Ohio State who's deciding not to play, he was saying Tim Tebow said he's gonna regret it when he misses out in the college championship this year with Ohio State and Alabama. He just said it was like it was a done deal. And the other thing I noticed is they were arguing about what's the best sports city right now, LA or Boston. So I thought that was interesting too. What's the best sports city in America, LA or Boston? But yeah, it's hard to ignore how dominant this pitcher's been here that's going for the Brewers, and he's at home. But we know how these people love to punk a home crowd, so I'm going to go back out to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Milwaukee, Wisconsin's also 99. Good observation. Sports gematria. When you decode the Spanish players' names and the people who have accents on their letters, I think the true gematria way is to keep the accent on there and not take it off and replace it with the English letter. I think that's part of how their coding works. I think it's better to just take the actual spelling, because then I know it makes it a null value, so the letter doesn't count as anything. I think it's supposed to be that way. I've talked about that many times in the past. But you can look at it the other way too. Just for people who are like, wait, what are you saying? I'll show you. And here in a minute, I'll give you a reason why I really think that is too. But see what in case you guys aren't following, this guy has the accent here, the Spanish accent over the I. See, this I, watch when I delete it. None of his numerical values are going to change. They're all going to stay the same. You see that? Because if there's the accent over it, the calculator reads it as a null value. If you do put the I, it is interesting because his name does sum to 99, like Brewers, and also like how you pointed out Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Oh, you got to do the exceptions on Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I see, to get it to 99. There it is. They also got that 108 thing going on, huh? Good major league number. But where's my man Jose Canseco at? So his full name, if you count the accents, has this gematria of 107, right? But that's not true if you take this off and do a normal E, then it's not. But I don't think it's any coincidence that it's 107 that way with the accent, because earthquake is 107. And the San Francisco earthquake, October 17th, 1989. Check this out from his birthday. His birthday is July 2nd. Good day for a major leaguer, right? Especially considering he was one of the biggest stars of his time. You don't count the full span from his birthday to the earthquake was 107 days later. And again, earthquake's 107, and so is his name when you take into account that accent. And he was the last thing shown on the TV before the earthquake began. So also that way, notice how his name's 55. Earthquake 55 and 107. You see? And there's just other things I've noticed over the years where the name with the accent, it makes it all fit together perfectly. So it's also possible that it's relevant both ways. Just like how we looked at this man's full name, and if you replace the accent with a not I, it's 99 like Brewers. So entirely possible they're both relevant. But I think the accent way is definitely relevant too. There's just been lots of things I've noticed over the years. Chris Cal points out that Dodgers has the gematria of 72. Tomorrow leaves 72 days left in the year. That is a good point. The ritual and as above, so below. That is funny. Sounds pretty Masonic. Somebody said I didn't read their email. I got to get caught up on my emails, you guys. I'm telling you, there's just not enough hours in a day. I need some help. Um, let's hear it. Let's hear what you guys are thinking. What are you guys thinking with this Brewers Dodgers Game 7? We should always look at the gematria at Game 7 too. 7 and Game 7. Game 7's got that 91 thing going, the 13th triangular Earth, 37 Los Angeles, 44 though also like Wisconsin. 91 the 13th triangular. LA Dodgers 85. Yeah, that's a good observation. Just doing the abbreviation. The Dodgers have a 72% win probability. Is that really a stat that's out there? On the day leaving 72 days left in the year? Where's that at? Where do you get this stat for the win probability? I'd like to see that with my own eyes. You guys like the Red Sox Brewers, the Tom Brady Red Sox Brewers prediction? One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Dodgers' next pennant would be their 11th since going to LA. They they got there 59 years ago. They want their 6th World Series since going to LA. So that's something to think about. The Dodgers could potentially advance to their 20th World Series on the 20th of the month. That's interesting too. I think the Brewers have been to one World Series. '82. 36 years ago. Brewers got that 36 Gematria. It's been 36 years since they've been. Somebody said in the NHL, Pittsburgh Penguins can go 4-1-2, and that's the Pittsburgh area code. That's very likely. When you see things like that, those are the types of things that make you want to go, okay, that looks like a lock. That's a number that has a lot of meaning. So I just like to, if I'm going to bet on a game, I got to see a lot line up for that one way. Like the other week when I was able to give you guys that 6-team parlay, all of those 6 teams, the thing was that all of them had a lot of things lining up in their favor. And sure enough, that one panned out. So not all games are that way, though. Sometimes you can see a little bit of each narrative going each way. All right, you guys. I don't see a lot of people talking about that Dodgers Brewers game. Seems like you guys are ready for the NFL. Golden State in a close game. Here, let's just go take a peek at the Golden State game right now. Let's see what kind of score we got up here. I love that they're at 122 right now. The Golden State number. Love it. Ah. Let's look at what's going on in this game. Warriors, Jazz, head to head. Let's see what they are all time here. So we can figure out what's going to happen before it ends. Warriors got 74 wins. Jazz got 107. So symbolic to get the 108th win over the Warriors because Golden State Warriors is 108. So is Oracle. This game's in Utah. That 108th win, something else. Let's see. Golden State Warriors to be 108, you got to do the S exception. It's 108, just like how Oracle is 108. Steph Curry signed his record contract 108 days from his Pi Day birthday when he did it. Let's see how many days it is from Steph Curry's birthday today. Let's see. Let's see. His birthday's March 14th. 220th day of his age. Big basketball number. 22. Looks like the Warriors just hit a shot there at the end, huh? Game-winning shot. Jonas Jerebko. 4-game losing streak there. Oh, they put a second back on the clock, huh? Let's see here. Let's see when the next time these teams play. That 108th win is really symbolic, but today's date doesn't really have any geometry connections is the thing. Warriors Jazz schedule 2018-19. Find their next game. They next play on December 19th, 31. That's a date with 49 numerology, Warriors numbers. They get on February 14th. 33. That's it. So that, hard to imagine the Jazz beating the Warriors, but this would be an interesting day. The thing about this game right here, assuming the Warriors hang on and win this tonight, just looking for that 108th win. This would be a surprise game right here. February 12th. That's the this date will have 53 numerology. That's the Gematria for Vesica Pisces, which is the most important shape in sacred geometry. And they could potentially get that 108th win in Oracle on that date. So that's a game to watch out for when it comes around. Pretty sure that could be a real upset special right there. Why is the win percentage at 100? It's not over yet. It's happened before. Yeah, Derek Anderson's the backup for the Bills this week. I see some favorable numbers for the Colts. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, the Colts got good numbers for tomorrow's game. Yeah, I think the Jazz have a strong chance to upset the Warriors on February 12th, just looking down the road when they might get that 108th win. In light of all the geometry rituals with the Warriors, be a nice little surprise there that game. February 12th, 19. All right, you guys, we've been on for about 3 hours. A little more than 3 hours now. Let's wrap it up. I'll be back tomorrow. The football decodes starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. Do it just like how we did last week. We'll go through each pick. We'll talk about it together. And then once we're done with that, then real quick, I'll make the audio file and just list all the picks for people who don't want to listen to the long presentation. So, yeah, my advice is to always just like take your time and look at some games. And when you find like a real strong decode, like you just imagine it like a weight scale. I mean, when everything's pointing one way, it's usually that way. So, if it's dicey, I'd stay away from those ones. All right, you guys have a good night. Appreciate y'all being here. Take care.